Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling today? Do you have a habit or a behavior that you just wish you could change? That you don't understand why you can't be different or have it in a different sense? This is because we often find ourselves negatively reinforcing our habits and our behaviors. And positive reinforcement is a really good thing because it adds reward to the behavior that you are trying to change or the consistency that you are putting in to change the habit. Negative reinforcement means instead of adding a reward to the reinforcement of the behavior, it is removing something from the habits. When you are trying to reinforce something, it removes something. So let me explain it in a way that makes sense. If you drink a lot of soda and you're trying to stop drinking soda, if you positively reinforce yourself, you will drink water and you'll say, this is good for my body. That's positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement means you just don't buy the soda. But what happens when you're at a restaurant, when you're out with friends, when you're at a shop and you just see a nice cold bottle of soda in the fridge, and that's when you start tormenting yourself and punishing yourself. And this is why negative reinforcement doesn't work. It is just punishing yourself over and over and trying to evade the situation, trying to remove yourself instead of dealing with it and reinforcing a positive way of changing that behavior or changing that habit. Negative reinforcement really is a lot more damaging. It's a lot more damaging than people might think or might like to think, because you are constantly trying to evade and remove yourself and ignore it, and you're not actually changing it. You're removing yourself from it. So you are negatively reinforcing how you are engaging in your habits and how you are behaving. And the sad thing about negative reinforcement is we do it a lot. We do it a lot. We tell ourselves, you know what, there's no point, I can't do this, I'm just going to remove myself from it and step back. But you're not actually dealing with that habit that you want to change. You are just removing yourself from the triggering situation, which you cannot always do. With negative reinforcement, you are punishing yourself. You are removing things that you could have dealt with in a better way if you use positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is just depriving yourself and punishing yourself and shifting the blame onto yourself. And these habits and these behaviors are reinforced in some way. If you have social anxiety, you reinforce your social anxiety by removing yourself from social situations and social interactions, and then you are negatively reinforcing that habit or that behavior of not interacting with other people. And that's why negative reinforcement can be so damaging to your overall mental health and your lifestyle and the connections that you make with other people. And understand that the thing is, with negative reinforcement, you are avoiding dealing with your triggers because you are just avoiding your triggers. But you can't avoid your trauma. You can't always run away, and you can't always avoid all your triggers. You have to face them. And the more you avoid your triggers, the more you negatively reinforce your trauma. And that's why it's so important to focus on positive reinforcement. Reward yourself for going out and having a conversation with people. Reward yourself for doing the opposite of what your social anxiety will allow you. And another thing is with negative reinforcement, you develop so much anxiety. You become so afraid of what could happen. You become so scared, so worried, so stressed, so anxious, because you are not dealing with things. You are hiding or running away or repressing them or avoiding them or evading them. And that will cause anxiety because they will be more prevalent in your life. And that's how you reinforce the habit of anxiety, is through negative reinforcement. And negative reinforcement also leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms. When you are struggling to deal with your triggers, then you might find other ways to reinforce behavior, and you might use positive reinforcement in the wrong way, and you might be rewarding yourself for the wrong things in the wrong way. And that's why it can cause unhealthy coping mechanisms and little instant gratifications that we use to reward ourselves when we are not feeling so good. And that leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms and coping in ways that are very harmful to your psyche as well. Negative reinforcement can reinforce more negative behaviors because, as I said, you're not dealing with your triggers. You're just sort of running away from them. So it will reinforce more of those behaviors, more of those habits. And those are then reinforced by the punishment that negative reinforcement brings, or the punishment that you bring onto yourself. Because negative behaviors and habits, which are reinforced by punishment or even by removing a specific stimuli, and that could be your triggers. And that's why it's important to understand that negative reinforcement is really bad for your overall mental health, your psyche. It puts you in this blame position where you just punish yourself and you evade everything and you remove yourself from everything instead of reinforcing a positive way of engaging in that habit. Don't negatively reinforce things. Don't deprive yourself. Don't run away. Don't evade. Just deal with them as they come and practice positively rewarding yourself when you do reinforce a good behavior. And reinforcement doesn't just have to do with punishment and reward and things like that, but it could also do with how you reinforce yourself, your voice, your affirmations. Negative reinforcement hardly ever works. It's not a good thing, and it just adds anxiety and leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that beautiful person. Stay strong wherever you're from,